All right, man. We going, man. So, hey, I appreciate you coming on today. Um, for those of the viewers that don't know who you are, I'll let you introduce yourself.
First of all, Dustin, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this podcast here. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Ron Ramos, aka Papa Pit, and I know it's a bully world nowadays, but that name was given to me uh, many, many years ago, all the way back in 1987 when I was showing UKC style pit bulls. So I have been blessed to have owned ADBA style pit bulls, UKC pit bulls. I've had a national blue pit champion in the UKC. I have shown Amstaffs in the AKC.
Hmm.
I have a dog that has won award of merit in the Amstaff Nationals. I have shown American Bullies in the the ABKC. I was also their first director of judges and one of the first judges for them. And I had trained probably at one point in time, probably 85 to 90% of the judges around the globe on how to be judges for bullies. And I also have a national Best All Classic ABKC national champion. And then I became the director of judges for the BRC for a moment. And now I'm pretty much a freelance judge, and I've been blessed to have traveled to over 20 different countries, judging shows, and for many, many different registries. And many of them have been very prestigious shows as far as their national type shows or just overall specialty type shows. So I'm truly blessed to where I'm at. So that's me in a nutshell. So again, like I said, I'm here to serve my community, and hopefully we can do something for you guys here on this podcast.
Hey, well, that was one hell of an introduction. That's you almost answered all my questions in your introduction. I'm just playing. But yeah, man. So like you started off talking about the nickname Papa Pit. Like, did somebody give that to you? Is that something that just people started saying, or how did that come about?
You know, that's one of my favorite stories, man. Let me tell you why. Because I've always been the older guy around the bully crowd. You know, whether pit bulls, amps, whatever. I was always the older person, right? And a lot of the people that were around me were a lot younger than I was. And plus, in my family, we go gray. As you can see, we go gray. We go gray at 40 years old. We're gray, man. We're completely gray. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's an inheritance, the gray. So I used to go to the UKC shows, and there was a young lady by the name of Lee at that time, Carver, or Lee Slashner. I can't remember the exact name, but her name was Lee. I loved her like a daughter, man.
Yeah.
And I would go to these shows, and I always try to be there on time. I hate running late. So I'd get there, and I would start helping people unload their canopies, helping to set up, and right. And one day Lee tells me, Ron, he goes, man, you're like everybody's papa, man. You get here and you don't hold back. You help everybody. You help them get their dogs down. You set them up. I'm going to call you Papa Pit.
Yeah.
Boom, baptized. There it is. I'm Papa Pit now. And the name stuck, and it never went away. Even the hat is a whole different story. I never used to wear a hat. That's if you want to hear a story about the hat, I'll tell you a story about the hat.
Yeah, go for it, man. It's like a trademark. I know I've seen plenty of pictures with the hat on.
Oh, this hat was, I was never a hat fan to be. This is how crazy it was. So I happened to be doing a bully show in Hawaii. Yeah. And the sun is very deceiving in Hawaii. It doesn't feel that hot.
Right.
And if you're out there, it really gets to you because it's reflecting off the water. You're in the middle of an island, so you're like in a bowl, and all this light's hitting you. It doesn't feel very strong. So in the middle of one of these shows, I started getting like a real bad headache, feeling really bad. And one of the people said, you're having a heat stroke. I said, shit, man, are you kidding, man? I'm in California. It's hotter than that here over there. He goes, no, I'm telling you, the sun is different here.
Yeah.
So they went out and got me a little Quicksilver hat, and it was very similar, just a little more flatter brim, and I wore the hat. And I felt better. They hydrated me, put me back in the ring, and I finished the show. So then I get home to California, and I go to another show in a little town called Pixley. And it's not even a town, man. It's just basically a store in a little park. So I'm at this show, and my wife was with me, and she happened to take the hat because I wasn't wearing a hat. But she said, well, it's outdoors. I'm gonna take it just in case. Right? So I get to the show, and I'm doing the show, and I get done, and people say, hey, we would like to take a picture with you. I said, okay, sure, let's take a picture. Right? And we're getting ready to take this picture. And they go, well, where's the hat? I go, what do you mean, where's the hat? What do you mean, where's the hat? He goes, no, we seen the picture. We seen you had, you were in Hawaii with a hat on. I said, I said, wife, give me the hat. So I put the hat on, and after that, the hat never came off, man. Everywhere I went, people wanted to take a picture with me with a hat on, so it became my trademark. So it's now if I didn't wear the hat, my family wouldn't even recognize me probably now because I wear it all the damn time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the birth of the hat, man. That's how the whole hat story started. You know what I'm saying? So
Nice.
it's been interesting. It's been an interesting adventure, man. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. So, being that you were with other registries, and what was the overall perspective of when the American Bully started coming about? I know you had something to do with helping write the standard for the American Bully. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did have a little bit to that. What it was actually a group of us that actually got together and wrote the standards and then, and what they did is somebody wrote the foundation. It was passed around. Then we would add in, well, we need to adjust this or tweak it here or add here there. So it was not just me. It was actually a group of people that actually had input to all that information. I did more of what I did for the bully world, and this is when they started showing them seriously in the ABKC. I pretty much wrote the criteria, what it was to become a judge, and I also wrote the code of ethics for judges. What was allowed, what was not allowed. We wanted to make sure that we maintain a very professional profile to the public, because in the very beginning of showing the bullies, it was just to go to the park, show your dogs, and they pick somebody out of the crowd and say, "Hey, you're going to be the judge."
Right.
But with the more competitive it became, the more demand became on judges understanding what they're looking at. Because once you start paying prices and you start paying to show a dog, some of the people get really, really competitive. So this is where the things changed, and this is where being the director, I decided to make a criteria that was a requirement how to become a judge. So back in the old days, it was, hey, let's get my compadre to the judge, or they're my brother-in-laws right here.
Right.
Let's throw them in the ring to judge.
Right.
No more. I mean, it's so competitive. They want people that are knowledgeable and understanding of the breed. So in the early days, it was pretty untrained people, and now it got a little more professional. But now with some of these fun shows that are coming up now, it's kind of reverting back to some of that stuff, and that's a good thing. It's fun, but on the other hand, it's a bad thing because then you may end up having dogs with a lot more health issues and faults because they don't really care. They just want to have a fun show and thing. And I'm not against fun shows, but I think there's comes a time where understanding breeds is actually to protect their health, and their desired look. So it's a good and it's a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely. So, at that time, who were the people involved in, writing the standard and also not only that, do you remember the first American Bullies that you seen?
Something as far as the writing the standards, there was a few people, and I don't want to say any names, but the fact of the matter is that
I get it.
And the reason I'm not going to say the names because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings that I was a part of it and I forgot to mention their name.
Right.
So because people get very sensitive over this stuff because everybody wants to lay claim that they did this for the breed, and they all deserve their accolades and their shine. But the thing is, I would hate to say something and forget somebody, or vice versa. So, but the very first dog that I seen, believe it or not, the American Bully, there was a couple of them, believe it or not, and these were even before they were called American Bullies. There was a friend of mine by the name of Tilo Bar of Ruckus Kennels. Tilo Bar Ruckus Kennels had a dog by the name of Big John Blaze. He was a real short, compact, just a monster of a dog. I mean, he was truly a beast, man. I mean, just really, really wide, heavy bone, almost along the lines of like a muscle tone, you know what I mean? But this is way before even muscle tone was even conceived. That idea wasn't even born yet.
Right.
And that was one of the first dogs that I said that's a beautiful animal. But at that time, they're still not called American Bullies, And then there was another dog that was actually my little town that I live in. I live in a very small town. The town that I live in is only 1,600 people, to give you an idea how tiny it is. And that's including surrounding farmland and everything. So it's the community itself is a real tiny town.
Right. That is beautiful.
There was a dog. Oh, I love it, man. There was a little dog here, and this guy had to be 14 inches. Again, this is like 96 maybe, and then that's how far back this goes back. Maybe earlier. And his name was Junior. And Junior, man, he was just a little tiny guy, and he was actually a red nose, but like a pocket-sized bully, like I said, 14 inches maybe. And this guy had a head like a pumpkin, man. It was just
Wow.
monstrous, right? And this is again, this is before the term American bully was used, or
Right.
bully for that matter. You know what I'm saying? So those were a couple of them. And then there was one other dog, and this dog name, and he's belonged to a very famous gentleman. The dog's name was Blackjack.
Oh yeah.
Blackjack was Ed Shepherd dog. Ed Shepherd dog Blackjack was the size of a standard dog at that time, right? But he was a freak, man. He had heavy bone, big head. He was a pretty amazing dog. Very beautiful animal to look at. You know, he was just absolutely stunning, man. So, and those are just a few of them to mention that are like in the real early days. Now, when they looked at the breed, and the breed became more of getting its place in the dog world, the dogs that I remember, that one of the dogs I remembered, and I did a breed to him, was a dog by the name of West Coast Bullies Da Vinci, and he was
Yeah.
off of Corrupt. You know, Corrupt was amazing. Da Vinci was amazing. There was a dog way back, old school guy, and name was Armani. He was a red fawn, also beautiful dog. See, those are dogs in the first, you know, the inceptions of the American bully world when they used the term American bully.
Right. Right. Definitely. So, I mean, as far as you, what dogs did you start off with when it came to American Bullies? Do you remember your first dogs that you owned?
You know, I do. Yes, I had my very first dog, believe it or not, uh, was two game dogs. This is my very inception. I've been in the country. I've had every dog you can imagine. I had Rottweilers, Dobermans, Samoyeds, everything under the sun. When you live in the country, man, every farmhouse got a dog, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with that being said, some of the first dogs I ever had, I got from a lady by the name of Patty Allen, and she had Allen's Country Kennels, and she had dogs like Allen Country's Cowboy, Allen Country's Boozer, and these dogs were like standard sized dogs. But these guys, honestly, got truth, these guys are like a real 100-pound, 110-pound dogs, not internet numbers. These are real numbers.
Right.
And these guys are monsters, right? And from there, I got another couple of dogs, and these dogs at that right around the same time. One was a 100% Jeep dog. He was a buckskin, typical buckskin colored Jeep dog, right? And this, he was maybe 35 pounds soaking wet, 40 pounds,
Right.
But a hard-working dog, man. I didn't like the idea of rolling him or ring sport, so I didn't do that. But he was very capable. But it came from just pure blood,
Yeah.
dogs that were really capable. And then I got another dog at the same time, and he was off of Crenshaw dogs. Crenshaw's Cotton Bullet, and so that his name was Nubbers, and he was an amazing dog. Also, Nubbers. No, I take it back. It was Nubbers. It was Escado's Death Stalker. That was his name, and he was a Crenshaw dog. He was a black and white, and it's so funny about him is that he looked like an American bully, even though he was a game dog. I was blown away because he didn't look nothing like what you would picture today as a game dog. Saying,
Right.
even in those times, for a game dog, they were usually kind of racy,
Right.
thin looking. This guy was he was bully. I mean, he looked like a Paco with a better head. You know what I'm saying,
Right. Right.
right.
Right.
He was a real thick dog. You know what I'm saying, so those are my first dogs as far as in that part of the getting started to the pit bull and the American bully.
Nice. And so, you're looked at as like a mentor to a lot of people, and I know that's something that you wanted to do is share your knowledge and um, but being and I know you had a lot of experience with dogs, but is there any time that Papa Pitt needs to call somebody and get some advice, or was there a time where you needed to reach out to people and get advice?
All my life.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this right now, and you can check anything I've ever said and all the interviews. I'll be the first to say that I am a lifetime student of the breed.
Right.
Because it is constantly evolving and changing. And my go-to people, believe it or not, when I first started was Patty Allen, the lady that I got my first registered pit bull through, and back in 1996, 97, when I got my first pure-blooded registered pit bull UKC. And when I got him, I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to save cans. Because my wife says, you ain't taking no money out of this budget. You got to feed these kids.
Yeah.
So she says, however you get the money, you can get a dog. And I literally saved cans to buy my first dog. And Patty Allen was my go-to, man. That woman, God rest her soul, she died 3 years ago, and I admire that lady because that was a woman that created who I am today.
Nice.
And one of the other ladies that I really looked up to was Pam Carter of Gaff Kennels. You know, I could always go to her, and she would always try to tell me stuff and teach. She was always willing to teach. You know, and last but not least, I think one of the greatest dog ladies on the planet is Jamie Sweet. You know, the lady is a wealth of knowledge, man. She's an amazing woman, man. And I think sometimes, I know everybody talks about her, but
Yeah.
even though they talk about you, I don't think people really, they got to let her know, man. You know what I mean? She's like, I said, you know, she's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
And those are probably the people that I had in the dog world that I think I could really count on because everybody thinks that the bullies or the dogs is a male dominated hobby.
Right.
And through all my years in the dog world, the top breeders have been all women.
Yeah.
You know, and with the American Bully, there are a lot of great male breeders, but better hope put your boots on tight, man, because the women are coming strong, man.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they're starting to see a lot of great women breeders in the American Bully breed. So
Handlers as
those
well.
were my mentors. Yeah, you know, and those were my mentors. And those three women, believe it or not, really mentored me and teaching me where to go. Even to this day, if I have any questions, I can message, you know, Jamie Sweet, and she'll tell me, you know, this or that. And I really admire and respect that lady. You know, her knowledge is beyond words, man. She grew up and since a baby, she grew up in dog.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. That's good, man. I think maybe with this younger generation of breeders, um, you know how when we're young, a lot of people just feel like they know everything. And also I think maybe some of the OGs, not talking about you because you've always been sharing your information, but other people kind of shied off away from schooling the new guys. Do you feel like that might be something that's going on?
I don't think it's that, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you what I'll tell you what my philosophy is on that. Is what it is that I don't think they're seeking out knowledge. You know, I mean, I don't know if they want to know. You know what I'm saying everybody says, well, you know, the OGs aren't teaching, and you know, and so forth and so forth. And I don't find that to be true.
Right.
You know, we're still here. We're still trying to help these people, but you have to seek it out. You know, I'm not going to go try to find who the guy needs help because I don't know who needs help. It's up to you to seek your mentors out. And when I say mentors, be careful because that could be a loosely used word.
Right.
Because some guys are salesmen and some guys are mentors of the breed. So there's two different things. And what's happening right now, I think, with some of the money that is coming out of some of these dogs, that the money is being demanded, is when they go to a mentor, they say, "Why did I go to this guy, man? You know, he don't sell the dogs for money I get." I'm saying, and a lot of the mentors, they really don't look at it as a perspective of money. They look at more the perspective of producing quality dogs. And the other things I learned is that if you do things correctly, and I'm not just talking about breeding, I'm talking about business, you know, the people that you bring in as your customers, you make them extended family, you do great quality dogs, the money will come without chasing it and trying to take shortcuts and stuff. And until we get people that are really understanding this, there's going to be a lot of dogs that are being sold at high dollar with a lot of flaws. And who am I going to tell some young guy that, hey, you know, you're doing this wrong?
Right.
When he's selling a dog for 10 grand and up, he says, "Oh yeah, you're full of shit, man. You know, what do you know?" What I'm saying,
right?
You know, so some of the things where the mentors are still there,
right?
They're still willing to help, but the thing is, always it's got to be a give and take. You got to want to receive it, and we want to give it to you. And the other thing too, sometimes you may hear something from a mentor you might not like, but that's a real mentor. A mentor is not going to give you everything, you know, bullet cherries and ice cream. You know, you're going to hear some stuff you may not like sometimes, you know. But if you really truly want to grow, you take what you need out of it. Not every piece of advice is going to suit your needs, but you got to be wise enough to pick and choose. Well, what's going to help me? You know what I'm saying? The thing is, don't turn everything away. Just listen to everything, absorb it all, and there may be a nugget in there that may be something that'll change your whole world, man. So, you know, they're still there. There's mentors there. It's just a matter of seeking them out and people wanting to be, you know, taught certain things.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, and also it's a big divide. I don't know if there's a big divide, but I just feel like, with all the different classes of bullies, you have people just sticking to what they like, which is cool, but it kind of put the divide in a sense. And I'm not talking about people arguing, but it's just not.
No, you're on point with what you're saying. There is a divide right now, and the divide is so crazy that you just mentioned this, because even when I left the AKC UKC to go into the American Bully, when I first left, I was probably one of the first few guys that came across and was really willing to help and teach everybody in the bully world before anybody else. And I say that with pride, and I honestly believe that I was probably one of the few, if not the only. What happened when I came across is the AKC UKC people looked at me like, "Oh my God, Ron, you're effing up the breed, man. You're gonna go with these guys and you're destroying the pit bull, you're destroying the am stuff." And my approach was always, it's easy to stand on the sidelines and throw rocks.
Right.
If you're that concerned over what they're doing, take a proactive stance, step in there and help them. And that's exactly what I did. I went across. I had people, like I said, that were like, talking behind my back, "Oh, you're destroying your thing." And I came across and I helped as much as I could. And if you look at the American Bully today, it has come a long ways. And you have to be cautious, because when you start getting show dogs, sometimes you can go too far over to the other side, and then you start to lose the variety, the look of the dog. Sometimes it's a balancing act. You don't want to lose the mass and size of the bully, because then it's going to turn into a pit bull. They're all cousins, even the exotic, they're all cousins of the pit bull. So the thing is, you have to be very cautious that you not only look at the structure of the animal, but you also want to make sure you keep that look, the look that separates it from the pit bull. So it's one of those things where it's a lot to it. And as far as the divide, I see the divide happening right now amongst the exotics.
Right.
And I started doing exotic shows. And when I do the exotic shows, I get the same thing from the American Bully people. They say, "Oh, Ron, you're going to they're messing up the breed." They don't know that I was there when I left the UKC, AKC, and they told me exactly the same thing about the American Bully that the American Bully people are telling me when I go over and try to help the guys in the exotic world.
Right.
So it's almost like a vicious circle. And it's the same thing happening over and over and over again. And it's one of those things where I'm a dog lover foremost. First and foremost, I'm a dog lover.
Right.
So I've seen some exotics to me that they're pretty amazing little dogs and things. So I'm gonna try to help those people as I helped everybody else. I'm not gonna pick and choose. I'm not gonna say, "Well, no, I don't want to do anything with you. You're doing this." No, I'm here to help everybody, man.
Right.
I've always been that way, and I will always stay that way. So there is a divide, and it's a shame, because I don't think we should be divided, because right now we beat BSL years ago, right? But that doesn't mean BSL is not somewhere in the dark waiting to come out again.
Right.
And if we're divided, we're going to be weak. But if we are united, we can stand together and fight against breed legislation against dogs.
Right.
And trust me, it's there and it's coming, man.
Yeah.
So it's never going to go away. It's one of those. It's a little sneaky guy that'll come out of the closet and bite you in the ass. So
right.
It's one of the things you always have to be prepared. And I think we have to stay. It's okay to stay in your little groups, man. Your little clubs and stuff. But we can still eat at the same table, man.
Right, and show each other respect, and just respect each other's choice in dogs.
Amen.
Yeah. So, hey, I was gonna ask you. Time goes on, it seems like the smaller American bullies and exotics and becoming more popular.
Well, in the very beginning, believe it or not, in the inception of the American Bullies, the standard has always been real popular, man. You know what I mean? And right now, if you look at some of the shows that are going on, a lot of times the standard are still doing a lot of winning.
Right.
And the pockets are doing a lot of winning. So, there's always been XLs. I mean, there's always been big dogs since I can remember back to my UKC, AKC days. There's a kind of called Land of the Giants, and there's all these old breeders that went way back that had big dogs. But there is some truth to that. There's a big popularity right now with making dogs smaller. Pockets are very popular, and now they're coming up with the micros.
Right.
And it's one of those things where be cautious, because you can actually go too small, because
Right.
then you start having, having health issues and so that. So it's just a matter of being very selective on your breedings and making sure that you're doing everything so that you make. I understand you want to make, your lane. You want to you make your own path, but the thing is, though, is
Right.
like do it without jeopardizing the health of other, your animals. So that, so it's
Right.
just a matter of just being a good breeder. I think.
Do you think like American bullies are being advertised business? Because
Absolutely, man.
yeah,
Absolutely. What happens, man? Everybody's looking at it as a get rich quick scheme,
yeah,
and there's a few guys out there that are that lucky. They got
right,
it's like winning a lottery ticket, and they are making that kind of crazy mess. But the thing is, though, what is the sacrifice? You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of breeders that are breeding, and you're right. There's a lot of first time breeders that are actually, honestly, got truth, they're lost. I mean, I get calls all the time about how do I do this? How do I do that? I mean, I got a call one time that a person called me and says, my dogs are stuck together. I mean, what do I do? Do I call a veterinary
yeah,
doctor,
right,
right? And they didn't even know that that was part of the breeding process. And they had no clue. It's like, we tried everything. We can't get them apart. And do I got to take them to vet? I said, they're breeding. Oh, that's what they're doing. They
wow,
honestly got to. They had no clue. Okay? So it's one of those things where um, I respect those people that want to become breeders, but
right,
do the homework behind it. That understand what they're going to get into.
right,
Even well-seasoned breeders are never completely prepared for the unforgiving things that happen when you do breeding. See, we think we have everything. We got a little medicine cabinet all stashed up.
yeah,
We got all our little tools, to make this thing go easier. And there's always something that comes like, we weren't prepared for this or that. And I
right,
don't give a damn how prepared you are. There's going to see something that's going to pop up. It's going to surprise you.
yeah,
And now, can you imagine being a first-time breeder and not know none of this stuff?
right.
And so it could be a real situation. It's a straight business now.
Yeah, and I know there's probably some money to be made, but living creatures, man, like you said, you're gonna run into so many obstacles that actually cost money.
Absolutely. And like I said, and this is the other thing, it's hard to convince these people because some of them are making crazy money. So to try to tell them this and that, they're gonna look at you like, yeah, sure, right, you're crazy. I'm making this kind of money, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
And they're more focused on the money than the other aspects of the whole hobby of the breeding, or even call it a business, even the business of breeding.
right,
There's a lot of great breeders that are business people. They make it their business, but they still maintain quality. They care about the health of the animals. They care about where these animals go to. It isn't about, give me 10 grand, I'll give you a puppy. And
yeah,
then you never see me again. I
right,
got people that get puppies from me, and we're friends for life. They become part of my extended family. They can call me
right,
and say, Ron, what's my pup's doing this, or my dog's already an adult, and to
right,
the point where the dog's already old and dying. And I tell how do I take care of him in his last hours? So this is how long my relationships are with some of the people that I sell dogs to. I even send them medicine. They get a hold of me and say, hey, man, my dog's this and this. I said, well, take a picture and let me see what is he doing. And I try to help him out. And I says, I'll be honest with you, you need to go see a vet over there sometime. Or if
right,
not, I said, or I'll tell them, I might have something here and I'll send it to you. I'm saying,
right,
and this is the type of thing I do to people that purchase puppies from me.
yeah,
They can call me 24/7, and I'll take care of them. And a lot of people, once that money leaves your hand into their hand, you never see them again, and they really don't care about you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's not me. That's not how I do things. I like to be involved. I want to see what my puppies look like as they become mature adults. Something. How are you going to grow if you don't see what your product looks like at the end of the day?
yeah. That makes sense because I mean, yeah, like you said, how can you see what you're producing if you're not keeping track of the offspring that your dogs are producing? Yeah, man. I appreciate all the input and your whole outlook on things, but I mean, it's a lot of people that are talking about how bad a shape the community is in and the state of the bully right now. But I mean, from what I hear you speaking, you're pretty optimistic about the future and the current status of the bullies, being that also being that you're involved in all different registries, the registries that you seem pretty optimistic about how things are going.
Like anything else in the world, and a prime example is I'll use the government in the United States that we have right now. Right now we're in a little bit of a upside down turn. The economics and everything, the way they're going, and like anything in the world, with longevity comes hiccups. The longer you're into this, you're gonna have situations where there's gonna be swings. There's gonna be like tides. 1 minute you're up, next minute you're down. So
Right.
it's like anything in life. You're gonna have situations where you're gonna question, the integrity and the life of something that you're doing. And it's up to you to stay positive and keep it going forward. I mean, I can sit here and cry about this and give you a grim look of everything, and it's going to establish nothing. If
Right.
anything, being who I am, the person that I am in my community, it's going to condone, and it's going to continue to go into a spiral downfall. And I'm not going to be that person. I'm always going to look at the positive side of things.
Right.
I think even the best always can use a little improvement. Even
Right.
the best breeders, the best car manufacturers, you always got to strive to do something a little bit better every time. And I think that if we sit here and we say how bad things are, we are actually feeding into that situation. We're putting water where water shouldn't be put. We don't want to put water on weeds. We want
Right.
to put it on plants that are producing fruit.
Right.
So the thing is, so if either you cry on the weeds, or you give good water to the fruit.
Right.
So the thing is, so some things where you have to maintain positive. We're gonna have these situations. We're gonna have places where we're gonna have downfalls. And God willing, as a community, this is why I say it's so important as a community that we support each other.
Right.
It's easy to throw stones at each other, say, "Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that," and guess what? It's our downfall as well as their downfall if we continue with that approach. But if we
Right.
say, "Hey, man, have you thought about this?" or "Can I suggest something to you?" and say something, and if they don't like it, say, "Okay, I'm just a suggestion. Don't be hurt about it.
Right.
Just take it and go." One of my things when I was training dog show judges is I would tell them, a sharp tongue never taught a lesson.
Right.
And if you understand that, that means, if I were to just belittle you and make you look like an ignorant fool and just disrespect you, you
Right.
didn't learn nothing from me. You're going to be pissed off at me. You're going to walk away. And if anything, I'm going to push you away. But if I were to approach you and say, "Hey, listen, if you thought about this or doing this, or, I love your passion, but try doing this, what I mean? Or this dog isn't the dog for you right now,
Right.
and don't give up on your dream. Try going this route." You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's all in our approach and how we look at things and how we do things. I don't care if you're an exotic breeder, a game dog breeder, a Chihuahua breeder. You're only going to grow your community with positive input.
Right.
Again, if you're going to sit there and make somebody look like a fool, or just degrade them, there's no lesson in that. And that's what I say. I've always said, a sharp tongue never taught a lesson.
Right.
Sometimes people do need a spanking, but it's at the right moment, at the right place, and in private.
Right.
You don't have to make a scene on somebody. I mean, even with my own children, if I got to tell them something, I got to put them in check. I pull them aside privately, not the other brothers and sisters can hear. Nobody else. Hey, listen, man, what's the
Right.
hell's the matter with you? You need to get yourself right.
Yeah.
And the
Everyone
same
don't
thing
need to know
applies
about it.
in the dog world. If you have no, you're absolutely right. What I'm saying? It's not everybody's business. Even as a great mentor, a great kennel partner, a great friend, if they truly are good friends, they're going to tell you something sometimes, and it may sting a bit, but don't
Right.
take it personal. If they didn't give a damn about you, they'd let you run off the cliff.
Right.
Matter of fact, they'd help you. Say, "Hey,
Right.
let me put some grease on those wheels, man. Let me get you out there faster."
Yeah.
So the thing is, if they care about you, they may say things sometimes it's going to hurt your feelings. So is the community in bad shape? I think we're having little hiccups right now, but I think we're all going to be fine. I think we're going to come out of the mud smelling like roses, man. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think we're going to be okay, man.
Nice. That's good to hear, man, because I hear all kinds of, it's just like, I think it's just social media, people just going back and forth all the time. And, it's exhausting to see that, that's why I'm kind of trying to shine a light on the positive side of things, and just kind of recognizing everybody in a whole. I try to go to different shows from different registries. That way I'm not just catering to, one registry or anything like that. Just give the community, just report for the community what's out there. You know what I mean? And for people that can't make it out to shows and things like that, show them what's out there.
You know, I admire and I love what you're doing, Justin, because like I said, you're on point. Because if you look at people, some of these people in the dog world, and they do just like you. They do live little podcasts, or they go live, so, and everything out of their mouth is negativity.
Yeah.
That's how they get their shine. You see,
Right.
and people don't understand that. Some people they don't know how to get shine by saying positive stuff. And plus, I hate to say this, people like following drama. It's a sad
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
you could talk about something great all day long about a beautiful litter, people don't want to hear about it. But the minute you start talking about, well, this guy did this and he screwed me over here, and everybody jumps on the bandwagon, man. It's a shame that we're all ambulance chasers.
Yeah.
We don't really chase after things that we see that are positive. So, and when I see something like you and what you're doing, my hat's off to you. I respect you, and that's come I jumped in here wholeheartedly because I see what you're doing. You're trying to make things right.
Yes,
and we got to start. Yeah, we really got to start recognizing the positive side of things. I'm telling you, I know guys that started registries, and when they start your registries, they start them for the wrong reason. They start them because, he didn't like my dog, or he's talking shit on me, or whatever.
Yeah.
And those are all the wrong reasons. You should be looking at it as like, I'm doing this. You know why? Because I want to better the breed. I want to do this. I want to make this positive. I want to make that positive.
Right.
You're starting it for those other reasons. I promise you won't be successful.
Yeah.
Because your approach is wrong, and you got bitterness in your heart. It's gonna go nowhere, man. So if you come in there with a good attitude and good things, I'm telling you, man, I've had people taking advantage of me and use me to do certain things, and I'm still here. I'm still surviving.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna focus on them. I'm not gonna give them any sunshine.
Yeah.
Throw them in the closet, let them die. And I'm a happy guy, man. I'm here with you. I'm doing what I love the most. And God willing, that when I leave this world, everybody can look back and say, man, he was a good mentor. I'm not, I've been blessed as a judge, as a breeder, but I want people to walk away and say, man, Ron was a good teacher, man. He really helped the community. I'm saying that's my legacy. I'm saying that's what I want to leave.
Definitely.
Because dogs come and go. It's like being a rock star, man. If you don't have a hit song, 6 months, they don't know who you are. Same thing in the dog world. If you don't create amazing dogs, they'll forget about you in a flash, dude.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's those were my intentions when I started doing the videos, was just reporting on what's out there, but just showing good vibes and trying to link up with everybody, man. I have I prefer big dogs, and that's what the dogs that I own, but I love all bullies, man. And that's what I think that at the end of the day, we all forget that we all love bullies, and this is why we're grown together.
We're dog lovers first, man.
Yeah.
You understand? I don't give a damn. If you're a true dog lover, you can say, oh, I'm a hardcore bully fan. But if you see a nice dog after you become a dog lover, it could be the damn mutt in front of the liquor store, and you're looking like, God damn, he's a good looking little dog.
Right.
Because your eyes change towards the community. I'm saying, so I admire what you're doing. Honest to God truth, man. I wish you great success.
Thank
I
you.
want to see more of your podcasting. I want you to get some great people on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's needed, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Our community, we don't need any differences. We need more camaraderie. When this whole thing started, man, it was just fun shows, and everybody got together, and it was just a good time. There was none of this, your dog is that, my dog is this. Everybody loves their dogs. Everybody, the old adage, my dog's better than your dog. Everybody thinks that in their mind. So.
Right.
And
so
there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of loving your animal. Right. Everybody loves their dog.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, though. But I think the community, I still think we still look at each other, and I think there's a lot of guys that look across the lines and say, hey, man, you got a nice dog. And that's the way it should be. We shouldn't draw the line and say, oh, no, you stay over there, I'll stay over here. No, man. It's not that at all. We all love dogs. That's what you got to look at it.
Yeah, and unfortunately for me, like you were saying earlier, the drama gets all the views, and being that I'm trying to, just build this organically and not clickbaiting and enticing people to come with crazy titles and things like that, it's taking a little bit longer to grow, but I know in the long run, putting out quality content is gonna pay off.
Well, you talk about long time to grow. I'll tell you about long time to grow.
Yeah.
I started with, like I said, with my first registered pit bull in 1983.
Yeah.
I started judging. I started showing dogs in 1997.
Wow.
I became a judge in 2004, and I've
Yeah.
been going since. And I plan to go till the wheels fall off. And and guess what? I don't think I have reached a point where I say I got the baddest dog. I'm the greatest judge. I still think I'm still growing. I'm still trying to be better at what I do.
Yeah.
I will never be that guy that I think I'm better than anybody else, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
For sure.
I like to be. I would rather be looked at as somebody like, man, he's competitive. He's bringing some dogs that are pretty damn nice. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I want to be. I don't be like, oh, he's got he thinks he's got. No, I'm not that guy, man. I'm the guy that wants to. I want to compete with you, man.
Right.
I want us to run to the end, man, till the wheels fall off, man.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so enough about everybody else and the rest of the community. What does OG Ramos got going on in his yard right now? What dogs? What upcoming dogs? Are you showing dogs still?
It's very difficult for me to show dogs because of who I am and the reputation
Right,
I carry.
right.
You
It's
know,
a conflict of
back
interest.
in the day, oh, it's very hard, man.
Yeah,
And it's ironic because I could have a dog that's made of gold, and he'll start to win. And the minute because when you get a dog that wins, it makes noise, and people are going to ask, "Hey, who is that? Who's this dog? Who's that dog?" If they start to ask,
right,
and they're saying, "Oh, this dog's beautiful. He's that." And the minute they find out it belongs to somebody, they say, "Oh, that's why he's winning," or "Oh,
right.
he's got the inside." So, I've never been the guy that wanted to do that. Trust me, I did a lot of showing. I started a showing,
Yeah,
and I do miss a show ring, but I just feel like I don't have I should say a fair chance.
yeah. It's a
But I'm
conflict.
okay with that, man. So long as, yeah, so it's complicated, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay. It's not going to stop me from breeding and doing what I want to do. In fact, I'll show you real quick. I don't know if you can see that. That's the kennels back there.
Nice,
That's
nice,
all the
man.
kennels.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
this is the yard. So where we have all our fun. We got everything. We got the dogs here, so
That's beautiful,
we're
bro.
always doing something here. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, man. We just had people come in from Los Angeles. We did a breeding yesterday. We're always doing something here. You know what I'm saying? And as far as
Yeah,
my up and comers, man, I got a boy named Boom Boom. He's just absolutely gorgeous, man. He's about 15 inches, super heavy bone, big head, super correct. In fact, the more correct the dog, it takes away from their look and their size.
right.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy. Then
Yeah,
I have a little guy named Soldier, and Soldier's like 14 inches. Man, he's a beast, man. He's a little dog, but when I say little dog, it's not like some of those you see now that they got a little thin bone and they got
yeah,
a little nice round little heads. No, this guy is a lot of meat on a
yeah.
14-inch frame, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not going to bring him out right now. It's just too difficult for me to do this.
No,
All
that's
this
cool.
I'll talk
That's
about.
cool.
Yeah, but I'm always doing something, man.
Yeah,
I love what I do. I love doing the breedings, and that's how I got started. I was like everybody else, doing dog shows and breeding, and I still enjoy it today, man.
nice, nice. So if you could give a couple keys of advice or a couple keys to success you think that some young breeders might need to know, what would those be?
The most important thing I could tell you, as being a young breeder, is don't be impatient, because I see too many people, they got money in their pocket and it's burning a hole and they just can't wait to give it to somebody, man. And this is where they get in trouble, because there's a lot of breeders out there, and I describe them as a used car salesman. They'll walk around, kick the tires, and tell you how shiny it is, and it belonged to an old lady. And it's not what you think it's to be. So the thing I can tell you is start looking at litters. If you really want to get into bullies, go see as many litters as you can. And I'm not talking about you can do internet. Don't get me wrong. That helps, but you look at as many litters as possible, so you can start to develop an eye of what you're looking at. Decide on what you want to get into, whether it be an XL, classic, standards, pockets, exotics, French bulldogs. Study that particular variety you're after. Study it intensely. Understand the structure, understand the health issues, so you don't buy into a dog that's going to die on you, or pay a lot of money later on down the line for veterinary costs. The second thing is be prepared, man. And what I mean by be prepared with understanding the breedings, the health issues, finding a mentor that will help you. Anybody can go out and buy a dog. That's the easiest part of this whole thing. Money will leave your hand quicker than you can imagine. So the thing is understanding where you're putting your money towards. How many of you gone out and you bought a car and just from a picture in a magazine. You won't do that. You want to go see it. You want to drive it. You want to look at it. You're saying you want to read about, the do's and don'ts, or does this car have, known for having problems? The same thing with the puppy and the breeders and the varieties. Understand what you're going to get yourself into. That's the most important thing. And the other thing is be very patient, especially if you're going to go into showing dogs. If you're going to showing dogs, you have to be very patient, to work with the dog. Because if you're heavy-handed and hard on a puppy, you're going to break his spirit, and he'll never be a good show dog. So those are just some of the things. Like I said, do your homework and stay humble, man, and you'll have a blast.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you? Are you on just Facebook? Or are you on Instagram as well?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as the Mr. PaPa Pit, all one word. And I also on Facebook on OG Ramos. And what had happened is I was under PaPa Pit under everything before, everywhere I was at. But what happened was, I don't know, somebody didn't like me or whatever it may be. And Facebook came and they took away all my accounts. They took away Instagram. They took away Facebook. They took away Messenger. They left me high and dry. And it kind of broke my heart because there was a lot of historical content. A lot of first time stuff was on there, and it's all gone. So it took me roughly like 6 months to get my, to reestablish. I didn't even get my accounts back. I couldn't even get my accounts back. So I had to start all over again. And it was a real, real heartbreak on me. It really depressed me because, like I said, there was a lot of historical content, articles that were written by me, just a lot of stuff. And it got taken away. And I tried to appeal it. And, Facebook and Instagram are so big. There's no humans there. You're talking to a computer. They have programs that, whatever they may be, that red flag you, or if somebody puts a complaint on you, they don't search it out. They just keep a score. Okay, this guy had 3 complaints. We're taking them down. And it could be somebody hating on you that you never done anything. Because all my content was dog stuff. So when they told me I violated community rules, it was a real heartbreak. It is what it is. I'm back, man. It did bring me down a little bit, but it hasn't stopped. I'm still here. I'm still supporting my people. I'm still here for you people out there, man. I'll do this, like I said, as long as I can. Like I said, I'm so grateful to you guys. Dustin, your followers, the people out there, the people that are going to come on here, please follow this gentleman. He's doing some great things, man. And like I said, without your guys' support, this stuff won't happen. And this is all good content. These are the kind of people you want to support and continue to grow. And it's going to help you new breeders as well, the old breeders, to grow. So this is the kind of stuff you want to do.
Yeah, definitely, man. We really appreciate you coming on. We'll continue to follow you. Hopefully we could link up here at one of these shows here soon. I'll be in contact with you. That way maybe I can attend one of the events that you're going to attend, or maybe even if I'm in California, man, I'll hit you up because I do go on vacation from time to time.
It's an open door, brother. It's an open door here, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually doing a show, and you have to forgive me. I don't have. I'm sure you can find it, but I'm actually doing an event for Man of Steel in Reedley, California. I'm doing another one for exotic Frenchies up in the Tri-Cities, Washington, Oregon area. I'm doing a seminar in a week in Los Angeles, a handling seminar in Los Angeles.
Nice.
After that, I'm going to Manchester, England, the UK, to judge a big show in the UK. We're working on maybe in Colombia, Peru again, possibly. I also have one in North Carolina with Tim Sinclair and those people over there. So I'm staying busy, like I said, and like I said, hopefully you guys go in there, find those pages, and I welcome anybody. When I go to these shows, man, I encourage you to come on up, shake my hand. We can talk dogs. I'm here for you guys all the time, man. So, again, I appreciate you, Dustin.
All right, man. Well, it was great talking with you. Like I said, I'll be in contact with you. And thanks again for joining us on the Big Time Bullies podcast. And God bless, man. Stay safe.
Peace, and we'll see you in the show ring.
Later, bro.